right, well, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for the final session in our Engaging Associate Faculty series. My name is Kate Johnson, and I am one of the Faculty Support and Development Managers here in the CEDAW. The series, the engagement series began as a way for faculty to break down silos and create more transparency around the ways that they support and engage the associate faculty who teach in their programs or in their courses. We've had some great opportunities to listen and learn from each other over the past year. And though, you know, obviously a lot has changed in the past couple of weeks, we know that we still have passionate educators in our classroom, and those educators need strong engagement from their leadership and their support team so that they then can create great classroom experiences for our students. I'm excited for Dr. Amy Rogers, Associate Director in the Center for First Year Experience, to be here to lead a discussion about engaging faculty through recognition. Please help me welcome Amy.
Thanks, Kate. Hi, everybody. I appreciate you coming today. Today, I have been tasked with wrapping up the 2019 faculty engagement sessions, inspired and led by the incredible Kate Johnson. And as Kate mentioned, I'll be talking specifically about faculty recognition. And as Kate alluded to, this session comes at an interesting time for all of us. It's a challenging and an exciting time, full of many unknowns, but I also believe that this is a time of infinite possibilities. In fact, when Kate and I were preparing for this session, it occurred to us that this is probably the first time since President Swenson's announcement of the restructure that we have had an opportunity to come together across the university. So for that, I am thankful and I'm glad that you're here. Whether you have attended all of the previous sessions, some of them, or if this is your first one, it's evident from the mere title of the series that this is a subject, faculty engagement is a subject that is critically important. It's a significant part of our job and something that we need to be paying attention to. But what is also evident over the last year of this series in particular is Kate's passion for making a difference with all faculty. So it would be remiss for me to discuss the value in recognizing faculty today without first recognizing Kate's vision and her leadership in making this series happen. And I'm blindsiding Kate. This is not something that we planned for, but if you would indulge me, please feel free to unmute your mics, contribute to the chat, and let's recognize and thank Kate for putting this topic in front of us and for inspiring us to learn from each other. And knowing Kate, she's going to be not pleased with me for doing that, but there you have it. Okay, well, I wanted to start today's session by first explaining how I got here. Last year, I got this email advertising the new faculty engagement series led by Kate. You all got the email too, and it listed a variety of topics related to faculty engagement with designated speakers scheduled for each month. And I thought it was awesome. And I was a little crushed that I wasn't on her list. So I emailed Kate and I asked her if I could be involved somehow. So I was lucky enough to get what was probably the token spot at the end, but I am so grateful for having this spot because it truly is the coolest place to be right now considering our circumstances today. And in the months leading up to now, I had a really easy go-to idea for what I was going to share with you. And I am going to spend a little bit of time on that, but I have another direction that I think that we could go to after I reveal this. But what I devised for the program that I previously managed was a faculty spotlight, if you will, a special feature, and you see it here on the left side of the slide. It was designed to lift up the folks that were so eager to teach students in this new program. And it was a really easy way for me to give thanks to them for their efforts to evolve as practitioners. And a little bit of backstory. What I mean when I say evolve is this new program had the luxury of being new. And there were a lot of elements of digital tools that were purposefully embedded to enhance the overall learning experience. But what that meant was that faculty needed to rise up and engage that way too. And most of us know that there are some challenges associated with that, especially with associate faculty. This isn't their full-time gig, and we are limited in what we have with providing them with training, and we have to stay within their teaching requirements. Nevertheless, I was really impressed and proud of what I was observing within the Mackey classrooms from some of our more veteran instructors. Their hearts were truly in it, and they were willing to stretch outside of what was comfortable and familiar to them. So one example I want to share with you, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, is engaging with students using video. And this was a technique that I modeled for my associate faculty in order to increase that engagement. And one of the easiest way to do it is with video announcements. And I know that many of you do that. But this particular associate faculty that I am sharing with you today, Kay Rollins, has spent a lot of time teaching at Ashford and teaching within the education department. She's just this really easygoing, very, very kind, sweet, soft-spoken lady. And this was a challenge for her, but she did it. And she immediately saw the results with her students. And what's more, she felt really empowered. So she was the first one to be recognized as a special feature within the program. What's interesting is that her videos were not carefully edited. They were very authentic, and at the beginning they were rudimentary. They were just like what we would see with students who have never used digital tools before to record themselves. But that was where a lot of the value was. She, by doing that, gained a lot of credibility. She was approachable, and she modeled for her students that she was taking risks too in her learning, and they were then empowered to do it as well. So the very act of Kay making herself vulnerable by modeling an imperfect product gave her students to do the same thing and have that confidence. What I can't help but to think about when I see this example is the long-term impact of Kay's personal empowerment alongside the recognition that she got through that email that went to her deans and her peers, and how it made her feel valued and respected. Just that one little thing that communicated her efforts and the impact that she was making is likely going to increase her desire to stay teaching at Ashford. And I think even more important than that, for her to enjoy being here. So when we think about the efficacy that comes with recognizing faculty, I think we have to consider the inevitable impact on students. And ultimately, that is why we do it, why we want to recognize faculty. I feel it would be a missed opportunity not to align the topic of faculty recognition with where we are today, as well as where we're headed as a university. Some really bold changes have been made, and while we've all experienced some discomfort, this is truly an exciting time. We're all situated to make a profound difference in the lives of students, and the decisions and the actions that we take with our faculty directly impact student success. So rather than share any more specific strategies with you regarding recognition of faculty, I thought that we could benefit from thinking about what we can do to provide just a little bit of security, a little bit of confidence, and a connection for our associate faculty. It is without question that, like us, they are hungry for communication and they are eager to feel connected with us on this journey. So I'm going to close with the reminder that faculty recognition is not only important when they are making an impact on students in the classroom, it is equally important to recognize them as a respected part of our community by acknowledging the changes that we are making as a university and sharing the direction that we are headed in, and by expressing our appreciation for their loyalty. So with that, I'd like to open it up to hear from you all, and maybe you could share some of the ideas that you have for how we might be able to create this sense of security, maybe what you have done to communicate so far with faculty in a positive and exciting and encouraging way. I think it's really easy for us to get stuck in the questions that are out there and the unknowns. And if we can make an effort to maybe share that positive moving forward approach, we could all benefit by that.
We also have the opportunity, folks, if you would like to come on to share, I can get you promoted and throw your camera on and chat too. Otherwise, feel free to post in the chat. You know, Amy, we're one of the positives that I can say is, you know, engagement was obviously a big focus for me and will continue to be a focus in my, I should turn on my camera, in my role. But I think that that it may look different, right? We don't necessarily may not have exactly the plan that we had created. I had plans created, right? Those plans are changing, but it doesn't mean that the intent and the work can't be filtered in a different way. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to finding new opportunities with our new program leaders to find ways that we can lift up and recognize and engage faculty institutionally, as well as you know, share examples of what folks are doing on an individual basis to help connect with faculty.
I do have the chat. I'm able to follow it, Kate.
Okay, great. I was just gonna say, I'm like, can you see there's yeah, I think, you know, first I'll go back to Jen Robinson, and I'm happy to share my template with anybody who's interested for the e-blast that came out. I made an infographic, and let's see, I can bring back and blow that up a little bit. But ultimately, what I wanted to include on the special feature was a little bit of a mix of personal about the instructor, and also entice others to see that someone was making those steps to evolve as a practitioner, which is why I would embed some samples of what they were doing in the classroom instructionally. And like I said, I was really pushing that video interaction. So you can see on there that there's a couple different links so they could see the videos. And then in the middle here are some just facts about them so that they can make a personal connection. Let's value who they are as a person, not just what they're doing instructionally. And a couple of you have said establishing points of contact, making sure that associate faculty find their person. Since we've done so much shifting around, there's no question that there are those loose ends.
And so what's out there is, I think, pretty plain for us to see. And what's important moving forward, and what I really want us to hear from each other, is what are some of you doing? What has been successful so far, if anything? And if nothing is really starting out new with that communication and connection piece, what do you think we can do in order to promote it, this moving forward direction in a really positive way, so that we don't get hung up on the fear factor and the unknowns that are looming with so many people? How can we move forward and communicate positively about all these changes that are being made? And I'm sorry, I know I could go way back with the chat. I like it when people are able to chime in on their mics. So if you're willing to do that, please let Kate know. A couple of you have pointed out just making sure that associate faculty knows, I know you're out there, I see you, even if it's just a simple email correspondence to say, I recognize you, what you're doing right now, and here I am. And we're in also a kind of a state of flux. I know that, not really being able to make a lot of formal announcements right now, but if we can at least be able to keep it light and keep it informal and just say, hey, I'm still here, then that might be enough for now until further notice. And Connie, I appreciate your comment about encouraging questions and answering as transparently as you can, always positively, and that you will eventually share anything that you know moving forward. I'm glad to see that you're motivating and exciting them. I'm not at all surprised about that. Wendy, I love that idea about sending out something as we kick off the winter break, and thanking them. That's a really great way to bring a personal touch to it as well, and not just keeping it all about business. And Kate, if you pick up on something in the chat that I haven't caught on to yet, which is highly possible, please feel free to join me.
I think you're hitting most of it, Amy, and I think, you know, folks are sharing honestly about, you know, still some of us waiting for that okay to say hi to faculty, and I think there's a lot of people that are in that same boat.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I love the ideas about the holidays. I was just going to put. There's a website called canva.com for those of you who create graphics. It's a very simple one that you could create a little holiday that puts, you know, the pictures of your leadership. You could put the pictures of your leadership in and throw it into an email as an attachment and just say, you know, happy holidays from us and we're thinking of you. Yep, I sure will. Basically anything I create for our CETL social media comes from canva.com. I like to.
And if you're saying Canva, Kate, that's what I used for this infographic.
Yeah, infographics, PowerPoint presentation, they have all kinds of stuff. But, you know, and I think keeping it simple, I think we're all sort of in this process, we're taking the path of least resistance to make the greatest good. And so, you know, a holiday message might be an easy way once, you know, you get approval.
I like Julie's comment above about right now establishing points of contact, a quarterly activity that's focused more on well-being and giving faculty opportunities to ask questions, not necessarily performance-based, and just a place for them to come to as people that's really is, we all want to feel that human connection. And I think it's easy for us sometimes when we're full-time faculty to forget that, you know, this isn't their full-time thing, and they want to be here and they want to feel connected. I've rarely seen those that don't feel that way. Okay.
The happy hour, that's great. You know, and for many of you, you have created, you know, your faculty learning communities, those Canvas spaces where your faculty still have access. Those can be a great way to, you know, to share, you know, with your faculty that you still see them, you're still there, but also a way that you can have them kind of in there, you know, giving a quick icebreaker, like we did, like what's the craziest holiday gift that you've received or something, just to kind of get the conversations going.
Mm-hmm. Molly, thanks for sharing your thoughts. I like the idea of when we are able to do a little bit more communication with folks, adding that video message to the email. That means so much to people, to be able to see you and hear you and realize that you're real, not just some name or title behind the scenes.
Yeah, Stacy Manning had asked about JibJab. It's a little bit more levity, so you'll have to know your audience if that's a direction that you want to go. But JibJab is a very silly, fun way to send a holiday greeting.
It's interesting to see Claire shared what Michelle regularly sends out blasts on a personal level, holidays and thank goodness it's Friday, etc. It does make him feel part of the team. And Stacy, I'm so not surprised about you adding some humor to your American government class. Especially when it's so content heavy. They need that. They need to lighten up the mood a little bit and know that you're, again, real.
And also, you know, I know this series has been focused on our associate faculty, and they absolutely need it. But I would say that equally, you know, your fellow teammates, your new teammates, for I think almost all of us, your new teammates would probably appreciate, you know, a little holiday greeting from you too, just to remind each other that we are all in this together. We're working to try to make the best of our new structure. And, you know, when we're feeling positive and when we're feeling engaged, it's a little bit easier to encourage that, you know, in our faculty body as well.
Gina shared image flip. She taught me how to use that, and I'm hooked. Makes you feel like one of the hipsters who can create those memes and GIFs, and yeah, so thanks, Gina.
Well, you know, I so appreciate Amy for coming in and leading this discussion. She most certainly could have said, no, I'm not doing this. Not right now. I've got too much going on. And she, and as we all do, have too much going on, but I appreciate her so much taking the time and being brave enough to step up and close out this series, because I have had so much fun learning from everybody. And it's and Molly's right. It's a positive way to end the series. And I'm so appreciative to all of the folks who stepped up and put on a series and created presentations and shared what's really working for you and shared your journey to get to these places. Thank you so much to everyone who has attended and supported the series. I hope that there was a little nugget of information that you were able to take from any of them. But if you didn't weren't able to attend all of the sessions, we do have all of the videos archived. I'll be sending out an email to the full list of everyone who participated over the year. So you can see the recordings back if you have ones that you want to watch. And then we will be excited to bring on 2020 and whatever comes next. If there are things in the future around engagement that you have an interest in, please reach out to me. I'd love to have the opportunity to help you connect your faculty to each other, or to get them engaged at an institutional level. Amy, thanks so much for your help.